Hello everyone, welcome to February 10th, the return off of the Lunar New Year break for League of Legends in the LPL and LCK. I believe the LCK has been back maybe one or two nights now, I'm not sure. I already don't like the LCK that much, so LCK 2 gamers, especially with all the COVID stuff happening. I wasn't a part of it last night, but I think from what I gathered on Twitter at least, it was that DRX won game one and then got clearance for the rest of their roster to come back in and then subbed back in their main roster and ended up getting reverse swept. I don't know. It was a whole thing, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm just going to be honest. If you played the LCK slate last night, you should seek gambling help. You are not in a good spot. You should never be playing, having money on a slate like that. An LCK 2 gamer with COVID question marks pretty much across the board. People are going to maybe laugh at that, but I'm half serious there. I don't know if you I get people want to play for fun and stuff, and maybe that's a whole different thing, but man, if there was ever a stay away spot, that definitely would have been it. But I don't think we missed too much in my absence, at least. I believe I was only gone for 2 LCK days. Nope, it was just the one day. So we get the LPL returning today as well. Only missed one night of games. T1 got the 2-1 over Hanwha. T1 dropped a game, the first game, and I'm seeing the sentiment a little bit around online. I believe specifically Force Within believes similarly to me that T1 is the worst undefeated team ever. Maybe not ever. I'm not sure what he said, but that's pretty much what I'm feeling as well. I don't understand how T1 are getting away and winning these games. Maybe it's just getting late and then having Gumayushi hard stomp just because he's probably one of the best ADs in the world already, and he's so young. And then we had DRX get the 2-1 over KT. We can maybe bring up scoreboards just to quickly run through. Again, I didn't have any money down on this games. You probably shouldn't have if you did, but it is what it is. The first game was just Zeri being an absolute silly champion. If this champion is not banned, then I don't know what's going on. Your team might be win trading, honestly. So that's something to keep in mind. Zeri should be perma-banned, especially on, I believe, red side. I don't know. Whatever side picks second, because Zeri should be first picked if it's up. And then we saw T1 ban the Zeri, and then the game was playable. So, yeah, not a lot to talk about there. T1 just don't look clean in any of these series. 46 minutes. I don't know how they're getting away with consistently winning team fights late. Seems like they kind of are coin flipping and getting heads 9 times in a row. I don't know. I think it will come back to bite them. I don't know whether it'll be during the second round robin or sooner. I believe T1 still has Genji and KT left. They probably should beat KT, but I expect Genji to beat T1 here. Genji, as you guys know, are my favorite, my team. That's the favorite to win, I believe. DRX third in the league. That is just crazy to me. I mean, this league is just so tight, pretty much outside of I don't know, T1 Genji. Dom one's not even looking great. Nong Shim dropped some series. I mean, it's just pretty disastrous league, if I'm honest. But I like Genji whenever they play T1. That'll be the 12th. So, I don't know. Looking forward to that. I bet you T1 should be a favorite in the odds market, and I'll be all over Genji betting in that game at least. So, looking forward to that. What was the other series? It was the DRX KT. The reason I went to the scoreboards in the first place. So we had COVID stuff happening. So DRX had I believe it's just their academy team come in for the first series, clear Peach, Shitab with Deft and Jun. And then somehow in between the first and second game, the rest of the roster got cleared for the COVID-19 protocols. Then King and Pioshik, Zika, and Beryl came back. So, like, what a thing, what a thing that happened. They lost the second game. Zika looked like kind of ran it down in this one, but it wasn't entirely his fault. The team just looked weird, and then they managed to get the job done in the third one. Again, wow, Zeri going crazy. Who could have imagined? Yeah, I mean, not a lot to talk about. I still feel like, although DRX's record puts them as the third best team in the league, I feel like they're getting extremely overhyped. I believe it was on, I don't remember the name of the podcast. I think it was like Trash Talking with Double Lift, K-Drill, and LS. That DRX is like one of the most talked about teams like up and coming, and I'm not seeing it. So if we get DRX like favorite numbers, I'm not going to be on them at all. I still feel like they're definitely far down there in terms of strength within the LCK. And then there's nothing to talk about really in the LPL. Pretty much the only news really I think that we got during the break, or at least that I saw, was that Top Esports are trying out a new support. There were some leaked messages between Yagao and Knight, and they're trying a new support. So that's something maybe to keep in mind. I'd imagine, I don't know when Top Esports play, but I'm in 2020 overview. We need to go to spring season. So Top will play on the 12th as well against RNG. I'd imagine RNG would be a handed favorite considering Top Esports have been bleeding series left and right. So, we'll keep that in mind as we go forward. Top Esports should have a new support. I'm not sure if it's already on their roster or if they're just like trying stuff out. But, we'll keep that in mind. I think this matters a lot for Top Esports specifically because they have talent everywhere. They just have no voice and no leadership, no direction. So if they get a support that can maybe provide some leadership and direction and support for this team, then I think they have potential to kind of be a whole new team looking going forward. I don't know. RNG is a pretty bad spot there initially for them, but, it's just something to look forward and keep in mind there with the Top Esports side. So, looking ahead to today's slate, whoops, kind of slammed my keyboard there on accident. So bringing over the notepad, you know how I like to do it. We could start with the LPL because we have the lineups right in front of us. JDG, WE, this one should be pretty big favored for JDG. My minus key is broken. JDG minus 350, WE, I don't know, plus 275. This could honestly be wider. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, but I think the sentiment is still the same. JDG should be pretty big favorites here. I like them so far, especially since they brought in Hope. You guys have heard me bring up Hope's name every time JDG have played, and that's because I believe he looked really good back when he was on it was EDG. It was EDG. I don't know why I'm like kind of blanking on the names, but yeah, he was EDG's AD. He was really good. Obviously, they ended up getting Viper. You can't blame them for wanting to bring in Viper. But Hope found a home here on JDG. I love Kanavian missing. Yagao and 369 are, they're good players, but I'm just not a fan, as much of a fan as them. But I like JDG a good bit. You guys know my opinion on the Team WE side. I believe they're like bottom 2 team in the world, or not in the world, in the LPL. Sorry, getting a little crossed over between talking over CSGO for a while, and in CSGO there's like, I don't know, hundreds of teams almost, it feels like, and then heading over to the LPL where there's 17, it gets a little mixy, but I feel like JDG should get this 2-0. I feel like there's just a significant difference in skill here. I wouldn't be surprised if the actual odds are much bigger, but I believe the sentiment is still the same, that JDG are much better. I feel like we kind of have a similar one here. So I'm going to price this, and then we can talk about something with the RA side that I wanted to bring up. But I believe RA should be pretty significant favorites, maybe not a ton. IG plus, I don't know, 200 or whatever. I'm not sure what the plus side will be back. But the reason I want to kind of bring up the RA side, we need to. All right. So RA have lost to BLG, V5, LNG, and Top Esports. They actually, yeah, they have. I don't think they are yet to win, are they? It says they're 1-3. Who did they beat? What am I missing? Oh, they beat Top. Yeah. So they beat Top Esports, lost to LNG, V5, and BLG. Arguably, like 3 of the top 5 teams in the league. And thing to remember again with the RA side, they have the rookie mid laner in Strive. I'm not a big fan of them having Yanja instead of Zora. I thought Zora was actually doing pretty well for being his first split in the LPL. I'm not sure what inspired them to make this change. To my knowledge, I don't believe this is like there's a public reasoning for that, but I wanted to see Zora. I thought he could. I thought he was doing pretty decent and could continue to grow into being his own good player, being a good LPL support. It's a little weird why they brought in Yanja. Maybe they have similar problems to Top Esports. I think they did have a little bit of like shot calling leadership issues, so maybe that's why they bring in Yanja. You guys know my opinions on this RA roster. I love Cube and Strive, and I love Zora, but Leon and iBoy are the death of me. These 2 players get caught out before objectives so often. I don't understand what's going on in their brain sometimes. Like iBoy is kind of like Jackie Love with a different name almost. Like his reputation is so insane, and it's just like such an overrated name and player. He has crazy good pop-off games. Like you could easily see iBoy have like a 12-1-5 Jinx game where he's just like crazy, like one of the best ADs in the world. Then in the very same series, he could be 0-4-3 and just be the complete reason they lose as well. So his highs are super high, his lows are super low, and I just don't want that in my AD position. You pretty much just need consistency. You just need them to not run in and die and then just hit whatever's closest at the moment. Like obviously there are some exceptions, maybe when we're in a Kaisa meta or something like that, you need some different skill set, but at the moment it's all just kind of front to back, Aphelios, Jinx, maybe we'll see Zeri, that kind of stuff, but there's not a lot of variation in the AD position at the moment for the picks at least. So I just need iBoy to stop dying. I think they should be able to get this series pretty well over IG. IG have been falling and just free falling continuously. I'm still super confused on why they brought in Zika over a different Zika, not the other Zika top laner over Nenny. I thought Nenny was like proving himself to be a super strong support. Top laner. So he seemed to just be like a strong player. Not much else to say. Like he was a good young player as well. I don't know why they're like benching like a youth player, get him experience, and maybe they can look to improve mid and bottom lane, both of them, mid, bot, and support, all 3 roles. I thought Nenny and Shun was a good starting stone to build off of for this IG roster. Cube versus Zika is going to be a huge gap. I like Strive over Uakai. IG are still swapping out their ADs. I think Jun is actually better than Leon, but although it won't matter that much because I believe RA are better everywhere else. I like iBoy. I like pretty much everyone on RA. I don't think anybody... We'll talk about DK stuff a little bit later, actually, but that's where I'm at with JDGWE. We head over back to the LCK. And we have Damwon Kwangdong. That's pretty unexciting, if I'm honest. I think this will probably be Damwon pretty heavily as favorite as well. Let's jog our memories here. So Damwon have lost to T1. That's not ideal. Although T1 aren't that bad, I suppose. They beat Hanwha, lost to Nongshim, beat Bro, lost to Genji, beat KT. So yeah, I mean, it looks like they're losing to better teams and beating worse teams. And I believe Kwangdong is just a worse team. You guys know the story with Damwon. I think maybe this like small break would benefit them a lot. But I think there's just a significant talent difference here. Guangdong again is one of those team names that was kind of talked up recently, although they're 1-5 at the bottom of the league, so I'm not sure what warrants that. But not a lot to say. I think there's just a significant talent gap. Even though Dom1 top lane situation is worrisome, I believe they're still continuing just to play Birdle. I mean, you have Showmaker, Canyon, it's Duck Dom and Kellen, I believe, right? Yeah, Duck Dom and Kellen, the Nongshim bottom lane. I believe they should figure it out eventually, and I think this should be like relatively one-sided for them. The second series in the LCK, again, not exciting. I believe Gen G is like the top LCK team, and then everyone else is chasing them. And I also believe that Gen G, despite them losing, I believe they just lost, right? Yeah, they just got 2-0'd by KT. So that's a little worrisome. But again, the break, and I think they're just a lot better than the Sandbox roster. This is going to be a pretty unexciting set of games, I think, based on these scores. But I'm going to go Gen G pretty heavily here as well. I think maybe that last one concerns me a little bit, so we'll go with like something like this. Live Sandbox, I don't know, 270, something like that. I don't know. I think there's not a lot to love here. These seem pretty one-sided, but we can look and see if there's anything popping up on the odds at least. So this Bovada is pretty annoying in that aspect when you're clicking on stuff. There we go. So JDG 350, they have JDG 280. I think this is pretty much the same. I still think there's just a significant gap here. So I like JDG a lot. Price is a little weird to me, but you know, it is what it is. RA minus 250, I had that one perfect. I mean, the bring back odds are kind of hard to guess just because you're paying like juice and stuff there, but you know, it is what it is. These odds surprise me a lot in the LCK, if I'm honest. I feel like Dom1 and Gen G, like they have dropped series, and these are prices that seem like Gen G and Dom1 are infallible. They definitely are like beatable. So these odds do surprise me a good bit. I definitely am not going to advocate taking the underdog shot here. But although I will say, I'm not entirely Xing out the Guangdong side, I believe, actually. This may be surprising, but we look at the Dom1 Guangdong series, like, it's kind of just been Keen, and even then he's had some, like, low performances. Like, it definitely just feels like it's a Keen V9, like 1v9 for Keen, and, you know, that's not ideal in the slightest. Like, he needs some help. The significant gap in the top lane gives me like the slightest glimmer of hope. Like, I still think players like LM Fate, Teddy, and Hoyt, I feel like they can hold their own. I don't know. It's just tough. And from what we've seen from Guangdong, it just seems like Keen is just playing well to hopefully get a transfer to a good team. And the rest of Guangdong are like checked out almost, it seems like. This is a match made in heaven, I think. Eventually, maybe in the offseason or something, if Keen moved to Dom1, that would be a dream for me at least. I think having like a triple-headed monster on this Dom1 team, like having Keen top, Showmaker mid, Duck Dom bottom, then having Canyon roaming the map, just seems like an insane thing to happen. I don't know if it will. I believe Keen maybe just signed a new contract. I'm not sure. I'd have to like check the contract database for that, but no, the point still stands that these odds are just super wide for me. Like, I'm not sure what warrants Dom1 at Gen G. These prices, like, they're definitely better. I'm not saying that that these are wrong, but Gen G and Dom1 they have lost. That's the thing. Like, they have lost. I believe Gen G only dropped one series, but I mean, Dom1 are like 3-3. So even if it is against better teams, like minus 750 implies that it's super unlikely, and I just don't fully agree. I think talking the slate as a whole, I feel it's hard to find any underdog slot really. The break does change some things. Like you can take some extra shots, maybe assuming that like things changed over break. Like you could make an argument, I think, for IG. I don't think Team WF showed me enough. I would definitely go JDG 2-0. I like where I'm 2-0, although I don't think it's crazy if you want to go IG. There's definitely that series just seems a little closer overall, but I like the RA side. Genji should 2-0 Sandbox. Damwon should 2-0 Kwangdong. Like these are, I like it. I know it's unexciting and stuff. I mean that's just how the slate goes. Like I don't think any of you guys watched my Call of Duty videos, but I gave out some huge underdogs in the Call of Duty games. I was all over like a few like plus 400, plus 200, plus 300 underdogs in Call of Duty. I actually cashed a lot of Call of Duty things. So if you guys are interested in picking up another esport, Call of Duty is only 3 days a week. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They play the games. I think it's a super profitable esport to bet in. Just because I feel like, I don't know, the players kind of give out a lot, at least from like internal stuff. I don't know. I feel like Call of Duty is super good. So maybe if you guys could check that stuff out, I would appreciate that as well. I believe there's a lot of profit to be made in the Call of Duty scene. So yeah, last COD video I gave out 3 underdogs. I believe only 1 of 3 came in, but even then it was a plus 350, I think. So if you bet $100 on each of them, you still profited. That kind of thing does happen. So, it's tough. I'm sure you guys aren't excited to hear that I'm just picking all four favorites to 2-0. But maybe we can glean something from this statistical standpoint. So the teams we have, let's see if I can do it off the top of my head. We have JD, IG, RA, WE. And on the LCK side, we have Damwon, Genji, Kwangdong, Sandbox. Combined kills per minute. So JDG, WE are at the top. They're playing each other, right? Yeah. I mean, as you guys can see, the lowest LPL team is above the highest LCK team. Kwangdong super slow. Sandbox are not that bad, but not a lot to love. I believe we'll see a popular amount of Doran. We'll look at player stuff in a second, but based off of this information, let's look at wins. Who gets down in victories? JDG, RA up there, kind of no shock there. In losses, who's giving it up the most? It looks like WE is up there. IG aren't that bad as well. So definitely leaning on the LCK side, or LPL side, I believe. We can check the wins over in this side. Genji kind of up there. Damwon not that great. Check losses. So yeah, Sandbox aren't that bad. Kwangdong 0.5 in losses. That is not ideal. So unfortunately, based off of that stuff, I'm probably just gonna X out the Damwon series. The numbers on that series just look a little too bad for my liking. So that's where I'm going, at least to start. I'm just going to go ahead and X out the Damwon Kwangdong series. So that leaves us with the Genji, RA, JDG. So we can X out Kwangdong and Damwon. Yeah, I think these are fine. So this averages what like 0.68 or something. These are all going to be 0.75 or something. So, I mean, it definitely is a big advantage, but it's still not impossible. I'm not sure how popular Genji are. I stress this a lot in all my videos, but I am not good at ownerships. I don't know why. mainly, I mean, I guess I kind of know why. My approach to a lot of this DFS stuff is I don't like listening to other people's content. I know that sounds rude, but at least just in my experience and my history, I just don't like having people sway my opinions. I like being the sole proprietor of why I'm wrong, why I'm right. Like I don't want to be slight leaning one way and then I see somebody say they like the other side and I'm like, maybe they're right, and then I swap it up and then my side would have been right. That's just my opinion. I kind of hope you guys do as well. I just like to put out at least my opinion because I believe, I believe in myself. I believe I can win more often than not. I've given out a good amount of underdogs for you guys. I have a pretty solid record, if I do say so myself. I keep it updated in the description. I wish I had separated the big favorites and big underdogs a little bit more. Plus 250 and above seems like too wide of a margin, but it gets a little too late now. So, yeah, I don't know why I keep going on tangents like that, but go over to our run query tab. I believe this stuff should be in my description when I use this. This already has the LPL and LCK 2022 spring written in, so we just need to add our teams. Our teams are Gen G. Our teams are JDG. And we have RA. We know we can't type in RA, so we have to do a rare atom. So that brings up our teams. So typically what I personally do is I like to go with the top 5 kill participants. I like to set a marker. I think based off of this, we can go with the top 4 maybe in this kill participation. So we have missing Lan Chovy, and we know Zora is not playing. It would be Yuyanja, who only played 1 series, so he's down there. His stats aren't ideal. So Leon, missing, and Chovy, we know those are solid players in the kill participation. Then we go to the kill share and see if those names are there as well. So Hope, Ruler, and Leon. So the only one that's repeating here is Leon. So we know Leon has high kill participation, one of the highest kill participations, one of the highest kill shares. So he's he's definitely someone I want to lock in. We could see Chovy's down here in 5th. He would be there as well. Obviously Missing's not going to have kill share because he's a support, but we know that supports all they matter is kill participation, so we're not too bothered about that. Hope is doing good up there. Yeah, I mean, so that's fair, I believe, for trying to get it started. I'm personally just kind of thinking at the moment, like, do I want to just X out Gen G? Like, I'm not sure how the pricing. Let's check pricing real quick. All right, Gen G, JDG. Looks like Gen G is the most expensive. Leon's the cheapest jungler. Yeah, I'm not sure where people are gonna go. I think RA being cheap will probably lead to them being the common pair. Yeah, RA seem pretty cheap compared to everyone else. 4,800 for support. That's kind of odd. Why are RA priced as like an underdog almost? That's weird. So yeah, RA should be super popular just because of that pricing. What was I doing? Oh yeah, so we already know the team stuff. We're leaning the LPL. JDG WE is probably the best option. RAIG second, Gen G Sandbox third, and then probably a Gap, I'd say, and then Damwon Guangdong in the 4th spot. So that's how I would rank them in DFS purposes. Again, I believe this stuff is linked in the description, how I look at the player stats and all that stuff. So you guys can go and check out and look at however you want to. But I think this gives me a good starting point of where I'm going to end up building. I think one thing that I like to do as well is look at go sort by kill participation and see if there's groups of players above people. And we do see that here with the JDG side. So we see Missing, Hope, Yugao, and Kanavi all in like the top clump here. So we know JDG like to group up. So, odds are if JDG have a good game, it's going to be heavily involved through these. I don't know how loud that was for you guys, but I accidentally knocked over a vase off my desk. So a little bonus bonus action for you guys. I don't know how loud that was, so I apologize. I just like startled your dog or something. I'm not sure, but that was funny. But I apologize if it was super loud for you guys. I've kind of derailed my thought, but I believe the point was like JDG are up there together as for kill participation as a team. Gen G not that far behind them. It looks like RA are a little spread out. Seems like Leon is a bit above everyone else. Although Yanja has only played one series, so it's a little tough on him to have these stats. I'd imagine he would improve that, especially in wins. But I mean, iBoy is down there, Cube's down there, Strive is not that great either. So maybe that's a way to get unique. We could search quickly. I want to search by the individual players themselves or the roles themselves. I think kill participation matters more, and I believe kill share is a good secondary thing. So we can search there. Any top lane difference? They all seem about the same. There's not a ton of difference here. I believe you can get kind of any of these top laners. Lan seems to be significantly above everyone else in the jungle department. Chovy seems to be a little bit better, but not significantly better than everyone else in the mid lane. Bottom lane, pretty much Hope or Ruler. I would probably X out maybe iBoy down here, just a little bit too low statistically. And then support, missing above everyone else by a good margin. Although we don't really know with Yanja just because he has one series and lost, so it's not a lot to go off of there. So something to keep in mind. Hopefully that can help you guys out as well. I'm not sure where exactly roster construction will leave me, just because I am going all favorites. I'm not sure, what I'm going to be able to build, but I like JDG a good amount. I might have to end up pairing them with RA, but we'll wait and see. I'll have to try to build something and then see from there. But I'm sure you guys could gather probably where I'm headed. I like JDG, I like RA, maybe Gen G, depending on how things go. I think when you're looking at overall kill participation, 369 Cube and Doran all down there. So I think double tops are probably out. But yeah, there's not a lot of options really. It's not an ideal slate. Hopefully there's something with a little bit more meat on it tomorrow. But it is what it is. We can only play with what they give us, and all four favorites winning on a slate is definitely not unheard of. So hopefully we can get the right combo and go from there. So that's going to be it for me today on the return to the LPL LCK. I believe we should be getting back to some regularity on these games. I wonder if there's 5 gamers coming up. That usually has a good ability to spread out. Yeah, so we have the typical 5 gamers returning. This is the 11th, 12th, 13th. 11th, 12th, 13th. So yeah, we should be able to return to our 5 gamers. We have some good games. This Ultra Prime Anyone's Legend series, good one. OMG V5, that should be a good one. So we have some decent games in slate coming up. So I'm pretty excited for that. Good little teaser here for us to dip our toes back into with the LPL and LCK. So that'll be it for me tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow for talking about some more League of Legends, and hopefully we can build up some bankroll tonight for those fun slates coming up. Thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow.